My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Virgos. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella Vampire Tarot, and for this week we're going to be doing the Vlad Dracula Tarot because, this video will probably take place on November 27th, so even though it's pretty much, past midnight for me, it's already the morning of the 28th and stuff like that. The point what I want to say here is we're pretty much closing in on this All Hallows Eve performance on Friday. My goodness, okay. Well, the human and I were just pretty much just coasting, towards Friday, so we pretty much did the best we could and so forth and what have you. Anyway, so let's look at your tarot reading because it's going to be laid out in the 11 card spread of the Dracula Tarot. I'm not going to be talking about the historical parts of each card, but I will talk about like the titles and especially the card numbers for that matter. So for the number 1, you get Hermit, one of your beautiful cards. So card 1, the significator forms the base of the cross. Everything in this reading will be built upon this foundation. So what do we know about the Hermit? It's about kind of having to go within. Maybe you're doing a lot of self-reflection and introspection, which is always a very good, thing to do either way, and the thing is what I even, came to terms with, like, the first card, like, of the entire 11 card spread, is that this is kind of like the general card. Like, whenever I did my general readings of past, present, future, and then I always, turn the deck around and said, okay, the bottom card is the general card. This is kind of, I think what you want to do is kind of, just have this introspective, kind of reflecting on this whole voyage and stuff like that. But sometimes it's always good just to kind of go within. If you need some alone time, you need alone time. You need to regenerate. You need to recover. You need to heal. It's like you don't always have to be constantly running around in track circles and just, hoping to find your motivation and inspiration again. Sometimes it's always good just to kind of go within and just think, okay, we're just, we need some alone time, which is 100% everybody's prerogative on so many levels. So, now we're going to be heading off towards the second card. Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So card 2, crossing the significator. This card represents the challenges you'll have to be overcome in order to achieve the desired outcome. So why would an Ace of Pentacles be a challenge? Well, the thing is the Ace of Pentacles is like some kind of job offering, or maybe you're going to be the one who's offering a job, but maybe, it's like if you're in a position where you're going to be offered a job of some kind, maybe, you're kind of going in, within, in the sense where you're pretty much just thinking, okay, it's like I need to kind of, reevaluate my, my life, my course, my skills, my abilities and stuff like that before I actually approach this job offering in other ways, because I know that a lot of humans, when you're actually, like sending out your resumes, it's like what the human was telling me about how some of, his friends and even his siblings are doing, because I do grant him his freedom. I don't keep him confined, close to me. I do tell him, don't mention that I'm a vampire another way, and he pretty much understood that and respected that. But, it's like, when he was also like going out on the job hunt and stuff like that, you are practically putting yourself in a vulnerable position because you're practically, when it comes to like the Six of Pentacles, the ones who are actually receiving the coins and stuff like that. So, it's pretty much, that you're in a position that somewhat desperate because you want to have that job. You want to be able to, make money. You want to be able to afford, items, houses, education, health, and all kinds of stuff, right? So, and I can understand how, it's like you're doing a lot of, introspection because the challenge is actually having to embrace maybe this new career of some kind. So then we get to card number 3. 10 of Pentacles. Happy home, happy earth, happy family, and abundance, but also confidence within yourself. And one of your beautiful earth cards. Okay. So card 3 above the significator, this shows the skill or ability you'll need to have in order to achieve the desired outcome. Well, it's pretty much a straightforward remark to say what you'll need to have is confidence, to believe in yourself. I know, easier said than done. So the thing is, that's what you're probably doing is you're going in, within to actually just, make sure that all the green check marks are lit up before you actually proceed and pursue with any kind of job offering for that matter. But the thing is, I would, if I were you in a position, because I would never order anybody around because this is all just based off of suggestions, 100%. Is the 10 of Pentacles in the sense of actually is remind yourself of all of your strengths and confidences. So I remember this Leo woman, who's still my neighbor because, it's like, when I did the Aries, reading, it sort of kind of did resonate with me and stuff like that. But other than that, if you even have Aries, please feel free to check out that video. But the thing is it's like, yeah, you do have to, well, what this Leo woman told or, was talking about, and I just kind of overheard it with my great hearing. But the thing is, she was talking to her husband, at the time. I don't know if they're still together. I mean, I haven't really, been out lately. But the point is, I think they still are. But I know. But anyway, the point what I want to make is to write down all of your wonderful, beautiful, amazing qualities and start watching that list grow into anything, whether it's a book or even poetry or whatever it may be and stuff like that. Because the thing is, it's always good to kind of go within and to always remind ourselves of who we are and our capabilities and stuff without just thinking, oh yeah, it's like it's all just game over from here. So if you want to actually, gain a sense of confidence, I would remind yourself of who you are. It's like that one Lion King movie or something to say, remember who you are and stuff like that. I just know that the human actually showed me that movie. Kind of sad though, but other than that, it's like, of course, it's way out of my time, so I can't really per se relate to it, and especially since I'm not a Leo myself. But other than that, it's always good just to kind of, just remind yourself of who you are, and then eventually, you'll grow into it. Because for card number 4, the World. Fixed sign, Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus energy. So number 4, this is the first bar of the cross, forming the basis of future and past events. This specific card represents present circumstances. Well, need I say more? The thing is the world, of course, we're all in this world together, but the thing is the world is practically your oyster. And that's the thing. This is pretty much, where you just have to think, okay, it's like we're going to be heading out into this world. We kind of, reminded ourselves of our wonderful, beautiful, amazing qualities. So now we're going to actually approach and pursue this upcoming event of whatever goal or job or whatever and stuff like that. So I just think, okay, just, do whatever it takes, head out into this world and just, try to embrace new beginnings, because I'm never going to stop mentioning this thing, because missed opportunities are far worse than learning moments. Because the thing is with learning moments, you also gain, experience, insight, and then it is also like your cautionary tales, but it's also, moments that you could actually look back and say, oh yeah, I remember how that went and stuff like that as well. So it's also practically just your experience moments. So the world is practically waiting for you to show up and to say, okay, why don't you come out and why don't you join us out in this world? So, but of course, you could also be living a beautiful, lavish lifestyle, maybe a rich lifestyle of the Ten of Pentacles as well. Then we get to card number 5. Ooh, you get Death. One of the cards I pulled for the Vampire. So number 5. Above 4, this is the second bar of the cross. It shows the highest possible outcome and is an indication of what will be. So I just see you entering into this rebirthing phase of, because, it's like you're pretty much kind of like having this transition phase, from the hermit of going in within and reminding yourself of your amazing qualities. Because I think in one of your previous, messages was, to let go of what's not benefiting you. Because the thing is I know it's easier said than done. Just take all the time you need. And even sometimes the timing is just not, your best friend in any way. Sometimes it could really definitely work against you, sad but true. But this, rebirthing is definitely enhancing, your abilities to enter into this world with confidence and to think, okay, everything is going to work out. Because, it's like in order to head off towards any kind of new careers and voyages, anything new is always scary. We don't know what to expect. So that's why, it's like you could be incredibly stressed out the week or the day or the night before you're heading out, to, start working in this new environment or whatever it may be in other ways. But here you are actually doing so, and you're actually going to be, entering into this real strong, confident position of this new you. So, then we get to cards 6 and 7. So 6 is about the immediate future. Temperance, Sagittarius, feeling serene, at peace, and balanced. Because in the immediate past, you get the Sun. Ooh. Sagittarius and Leo, fire signs. Okay. The only thing that's missing is either the Emperor or the Tower. So what I see here is, there's going to be a good sense of clarity. This rebirthing is meant to happen. This transition of yours is meant to happen so you can actually embrace feeling serene, at peace, and balance. The thing is, it's usually, our own internal thoughts that actually get the best of us. It's like pretty much, any kind of fear that you could think about, you pretty much just think, nope, I'm not doing it. I can't do it. I just don't have the confidence or strength within me. I just can't see myself doing that. It's too much. It's too complicated. What am I even doing? Well, you do have more strength and confidence with Leo energy, and this took place in the immediate past, so this is pretty much, you actually having to remind yourself of this rebirthing. So pretty soon you're going to feel serene, at peace, and balanced in the sense of routine. And it's usually after the first day or first week of your job, whatever it may be. That's usually the toughest. And that's even for anybody who's going to, be retiring. It's usually even for writers and stuff like that. It's the first and last chapter that are usually the hardest to even write or even think about but I bet, pretty soon, you will be in a position where everything is just going to be, you're going to be in a routine, you're going to be in a serene, at peace, balanced mindset by thinking, okay, what was I even worried about? Common feeling and a common response. So, because then we get into cards 8 and 9. 8, and this is about the distant future. You're going to be with the 8 of coins. You see, hardworking, routine. Because in the distant past, you got King of Pentacles, one of your beautiful cards. So what I see here is everything is just going to work out. Everything is just going to be just, practically just, swimming, and everything is just going to be, just as confident as ever. Everything is just, my goodness, even though we are in Scorpio season, it's like, I do see that your motivation and inspiration is going to finally kick in, after the first week. It's definitely like, the first week that is usually the hardest to get through. But, once you get into that, thank God it's Friday moment, then, suddenly you get through the weekend and then you think, wow, I did it. And here you're going to keep doing it. Because in the distant past with the King of Pentacles, you finally got that one beautiful, stable, beautiful career, whatever it may be, confidence galore, but you could also be in a real rich lifestyle with 10 of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, and other ways. So I just see that everything is just going to be working out in your favor. Yep. Because now we're going to head off towards the outcomes of all outcomes. King of Stakes, Leo energy, confidence, strength, passion, and star wish fulfillment. Fabulous. Need I say more? Need I say more? Because the thing is, I just feel like that everything is just going to work out. It's always just that one struggle of having to remind yourself of your amazing qualities, to actually embrace any kind of new beginnings, any kind of job. And it's always definitely the week before or the night before that is usually, the worst for anybody when they're about to embrace any kind of new offerings for that matter, because suddenly you're getting hit with all of this self-doubt, lack of faith, negativity, everything that could all go wrong will go wrong in your favor and stuff like that. But how do you know that? Because, that's like, this rebirthing, if you allow yourself to go through the rebirthing for going through with card number 5, and of course, you're going to have to let go of what's not benefiting you. And what does that mean? It's your self-doubt, so you can welcome confidence, strength, fiery passion, and the star wish fulfillment. And this is interesting because Leo and Aquarius are opposite signs. So, but you have actually some really good cards here in today's reading, and always just check your icon or the thumbnail, whatever it may be. But this is a very beautiful reading for my beautiful earth signs. So, but anyway, I know it's a little bit shorter than usual, but I'm gonna have to leave it at this. If I don't get a chance to wish you guys a happy Halloween, All Hallows Eve before Friday, or even on Friday, because we're going to be so busy on Friday. It's like I want to wish you all a wonderful All Hallows Eve. Happy Halloween. I hope it'll be a wonderful, beautiful, spectacular evening for everybody, your fledglings, your family, your friends, what have you. But anyway, it's like, so, yeah, because next week I'm going back to general reading, so, I'm going to incorporate occasionally, some Dracula themes here and there, and And there's always going to be more Dracula media shows, movies taking place maybe in a few months or in a year again, stuff like that. So, but anyway, I love you guys incredibly. I want to wish you all the best of luck on this rebirthing, this challenge that you might be overcoming, but it just looks like you do get a wonderful, beautiful, happy ending, and I'm just so honored and blessed to be giving you such a beautiful reading. And I want to thank all of my beautiful Virgos, Virgo placements, everybody out in this world who are Virgos for joining and subscribing to my channel. I love you guys incredibly. I think you guys are wonderful, amazing humans, very realistic, very, down-to-earth humans. But other than that, thank you again for joining me. I love you guys incredibly, and best of luck on where this journey may take you.